Hello everybody and welcome to an Elder Scrolls Online video news with me, Sherman. So today we're going to be talking about the announcement, of course, of Morrowind and the next chapter of ESO. It's coming out June 6th for all things, including the Japanese release, is all coming out at the same time. I think that's really cool that they're doing that. I'm excited for it. I don't know about you guys, but I am excited for this update. So, what we are going to do... Oh, they released the letter for Welcome 2017. I really want to read that, but we're going to go to this instead. And just read through this. So, this June, the next chapter and the Elder Scrolls Online will begin. Return to the iconic island of Warden for over 30 hours of adventure in a brand new location, new class, new PvP mode, and trial, and much more. Now, we don't know what all is coming with this, so there could be like 10 delves, you know, 2 public dungeons, 3 public dungeons, because there's a couple places in the game from Morrowind that could be considered public dungeons, and a lot of delves, I'll tell you that much. So we do know that the main story involves Vavik, as it's stated below, and it also states below, you know, some other things, but they did mention in the live stream about the extra stuff, also the thing with the 3 faction houses. If you guys don't know, there is 3 faction houses on Morrowind that pertain to, like, not the tribunal, but they're separate from the tribunal, and there's 3 factions, and I have a feeling that's going to be the Nehru storyline, and then the 30 hours is going to be the main story itself. So there could be a lot more to this than we think. We don't know yet. We just have to wait and see. The fate of Morrowind hangs in the balance as you take up the mantle of a hero to help Vavik, the legendary warrior guardian of Vardenfell, save the world from a deadly Drake threat set roughly 700 years before the events of Elder Scrolls 3. Morrowind, ESO's new chapter, takes you to familiar locations as an attempt to solve the mystery of Vavik's mysterious illness and restore his strength. Travel to the volcanic ashlands of mushroom-filled forests and walk the streets of the Vavik city, still under construction at this point. I think that's really cool that we're going to get this story that deals with Vavik. I mean, no offense, Vavik was one of my favorite characters in that storyline, besides, you know, dealing with the Daedra who's sleeping in the mountain. I really enjoyed this storyline. It was a really good, thorough story of Vardenfell. You know, the thing about Morrowind was the exploration, but the story that came with it was even better, and it was fun. I loved the Morrowind. I have 3,000 hours logged in Morrowind, the original. I mean, I love that area. I love the concept art because it gives you that sense that there's going to be more to it, and it's not as gloomy as the original. So it should be, you know, as the original Elder Scrolls 3, it's not going to be as gloomy. It's going to be more bright and vibrant. So it's going to be a little bit more interesting to look at, in my opinion. With the largest landmass addition to date, a brand new player class, an intense new PvP mode, the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind is the perfect entry point for new players and a great way for veterans to continue their journey. Now, in the live stream, they did talk about a new tutorial coming to the game with this release. Now, is this tutorial going to take place before, you know, what or after the events of what's already happened, or is it going to be something that takes place during the events of already what's happening? We don't know, but whatever it might be, I'm kind of excited to see what this new tutorial brings to the game. So I'm actually saving 2 character slots right now where I have existing characters, because I do want a Warden, and I'm going to change one of my characters into a Warden because he's only like level 6, and then I have a level 8 character that I'm gonna keep. Maybe I haven't quite decided because I don't know if I want to change them from being a Nord or a High Elf Dragon Knight into a Nord or an Imperial Dragon Knight. I'm kind of stuck there right now. It's just by choice that I made the High Elf the way I did. But let's keep going. Those who already own ESO can simply upgrade their experience and immediately jump into the new chapter when it launches on June 6th for all platforms, including PC Japan. And thanks to one Tamriel update from last October, new players can also sell directly into Morrowind and play with other adventurers of all levels. The Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind also includes all the original ESO content, so new players will have access to hundreds of hours of excitement through Tamriel. Existing players can also choose to carry their characters over to Morrowind or start fresh on a new adventure with a new face. Now, I don't know exactly what this means. Now, I want to point this out. This the original ESO content. I don't know if it means the full game plus all the DLCs. If that's the case, then whoever's buying this is getting a really good deal, because a lot of us have to choose to play either by paying a subscription or buying a la carte. And if you choose to buy a la carte, a lot of us have spent close to or as much as those paying a subscription already, because it's like $100 and something to buy all the DLCs. That doesn't include all the other stuff that's in the Crown Store if we buy it individually. Now, myself, I have spent over $100 on this game. I bought it when it first released. I bought it again because when I bought it when it first released, I bought the box copy, and I didn't even realize I had thrown it out. So I lost my stuff. So I created a new account and everything and bought it again when Tamriel Unlimited came out. So I did have to start fresh. It didn't bother me because I only had like a month's worth of time in the game prior to that, and the 2 weekends of beta. So I didn't really have much time in the game prior to that. So it didn't bother me to do that. This buying a la carte is what I've done since then, and that's because me and my partner have an agreement that when you play, and we don't call each other married because it's just how we are. I'm not going to explain it. But yeah, so me and my partner have an agreement that if I pay a subscription, I can't buy any games. If I don't buy a prescription or a subscription, I can buy the DLCs and I can buy other games. So that's why I choose to do this. It's also, we have kids, and we have other responsibilities and other things that come before our entertainment purposes. So that's why we do it. It's not that I can't afford a subscription and buying the DLCs. I could. It's just I choose not to save more money, so that we have finances there in case something comes up, like our car breaks down, or something happens with our house and we got to get it fixed, or one of our kids gets hurt and they need like crutches, or they need possible wheelchair access for a while or something. We're concerned about those kind of things, and so to be smart, we just decided this was the best factor. So that's what I'll explain. So we do know that we are getting a new class. We do know that we're getting new PvP mode with 3 brand new maps and some other stuff. And the fact that they said in the video that this is the largest map, and it's one map. They didn't say if it was going to be zoned or anything. They just said it's going to be one map that we go and explore. So if it's just one zone that's huge, it's half the size, or more than half the size, of Cyrodiil. If you compare them to in the game, it's going to be more than half the size of Cyrodiil. And if that's the case, that's a huge area to explore. And especially if it's like that, that means there'll be multiple instances, because each zone can only hold so many players, or each instance can only hold so many players. But still, that's going to be a huge amount of content. And then we're not talking world bosses, we're not talking delves, dungeons, public dungeons, like I said, or public dungeons and delves, or world bosses. We're just saying that. We don't know how many different new armor sets are coming to the game. We don't know, because there could be one for each faction. Of those 3 factions I talked about, there could be some other things that they could add to it, but we don't know. I mean, think about this. They could even add new jewelry sets, like the 3-piece jewelry sets like we have now, like the agility and all that kind of stuff. They could add new sets for that. They could add new armor sets because of the PvP, plus the other sets that they could add for the open world. There's a lot of content that could be coming this. We don't know. So I'm assuming we're getting a lot more with this than we did with Orsinium. Way more. Because Orsinium gave us new armor sets based on the Maelstrom Arena, and 2 for Maelstrom Arena and 1 for the open world. So one and for each armor type. So we got 3 light armor sets, we got 3 medium armor sets, and 3 heavy armor sets, plus the crafted stuff. And we don't even know of any crafted sets either yet. So there's a lot of things we don't know that's coming. So let's get into this next part. As you may indeed want to give a new character a go, as Morrowind introduces the first new class since launch. So, and it's the Warden. And the Warden has is nature-based magic, it says, and true to the Elder Scrolls, you can customize a number of the abilities to suit your playstyle. Explore the island of Vardenfell and head first into battle, knowing your Warden's ferocious warbearer is always has your back. And this is the warbearer there. Now, the warbearer is an ultimate, and I'll get to that in a second, but there's 3 trees. One is an ice-based tree, which they did state in the live stream is more defensive magic. Then you have the nature tree, and they didn't go too much into detail into it, except they did say that you'll be able to heal your pet. So I'm guessing healing might be involved with that, along with some other stuff. And then, of course, the 3rd tree, which is the animal companion tree, which is where the bear is, and it is an ultimate. Now, they did state in the live stream that this bear will be out all the time after you summon it until it dies. So it does have to die. It's like having any of the other, like the summons pets from the Daedric summoning. It's just like that, except this one's an ultimate, and it stays out all the time, the bear does. And this bear has 2 morphs. One will auto-res itself when it dies, so it basically gives you a free cast of summoning it. And then the other one is a thing that allows it to do a damage ability at with greater damage. So it allows you to do more damage. The other thing that I find funny is the fact that it's going to be using ice magic that does more defensive, and the fact that the ice staff is getting this change soon means that this might be the way to make a true ice staff tank is with it. Now, you can tank right now with fire staff, lightning staff, and ice staff. You just don't gain the benefit of what the ice staff gives you, which is that damage shield. You would have to take 2 damage shields to make up the difference. Now, I do play an ice staff mage right now. An ice staff Templar, actually, tank that uses the ice staff, uses the shield from the light armor, and then uses the shield from the staff, and I rotate between the two to keep my damage mitigation up. Now, I do just play this character right now in dungeons. I haven't tried him in a trial, so I don't know how that will work. I do play a 2-handed Templar tank in trials, and it works fine. You just have to build your health pool up to make their blazing shield more powerful. The magic shields are better because it's based on max magicka instead of max health. So it grows in strength based on max magicka instead of growing based on like a percentage of your max health like the bone shield and the blazing shield does. The blazing shield is and the other version are really good damage shields. But they're not quite as good as the magic shields because they mitigate a lot more damage, no offense. So I am excited about this. I'm really excited about this class because I can't wait to make one. Because I love to play tanks, so I'm going to make a tank one. And I'm going to see how well of a tank they make out. And if they don't make a great tank, I'll probably turn them into DPS, to be honest. Next up, Morrowind also introduces a new trial and PvP mode. Check out for you to check out. Enter the Telvanni Tower of Telfur with your strongest allies to battle your way through the halls of fabrication and explore a part of the Clockwork City in a challenging new 12-player trial, or you can head to the Ashlands to take part in the fellow players in exciting 4v4v4 battles in arena-like environments. These highly competitive, fast-paced matches will feature your choice in a variety of game types across the different maps, across 3 different maps. Now, I mentioned earlier that there is 3 different maps. We do know that. I will get in more into PvP, but I do want to talk a little bit about the trial thing because I do think it's cool. The Colossus, which is this giant Dwemer golem thing that you're going to be fighting in it, really interests me because one of the things I love about the lore that got me so excited about the lore of Morrowind was learning about the Dweemers. And one was a Dweemer that you meet, and I'm wondering if they're going to reincorporate him into the storyline, because if they do, that'll be fantastic. Now, if you don't know what Telfur is, it's a tower on on Vardenfell that you would go to for some of the Mages Guild quests and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that there's a portal there that takes you to the Clockwork City, because Clockwork City isn't in Vardenfell; it's in its own place. And I'm not sure if it's it was part of the Mournhold DLC with Morrowind 3, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. It was part of that DLC. You would go there and you would actually play in there for part of the main storyline. So I'm having a feeling that in this 12-man thing, It's prior story, of course, but I have a feeling that that's going to lead up to possibly a future DLC in the Clockwork City. And that's just my opinion. So the PvP thing sounds really cool to me. No offense, I like that 4v4 battle thing. I think that's going to be more exciting for me as a player, because that way I'll be able to make a character, I'll be able to play him in the open environment and carry a set of armor on me for just that, instead of taking him to Cyrodiil, which, no offense, Cyrodiil's great, but it's too open for there to be really good PvP, like fast-paced PvP, or because then you have to teleport back to a way shrine, run all the way back out. It's really annoying to do PvP in Cyrodiil, no offense. I do like this more fast-paced environment type stuff. So, and the fact that they said it's going to be more first-person shooter style with the game types, so it's going to have like a capture the flag, a deathmatch, and I'm guessing the third one might be a King of the Hill type thing, but don't know yet. We'll have to wait until we hear more about it, but I am excited about that. And like I said, this would be a great way to introduce the 3 factions armors. So you'd have the 3 factions of the island, and as you can see, there is banners back here that represent the 3 factions in this picture. This does not represent a new weapon style line, guys. Come on. I mean, we can already do this already. Cast magic with one hand while using our staff. If you use certain class abilities, your character will do that. It's already in the game. There's no point for them to add that. Now, I would say this, and I will be doing a video series on this about a possible one-handed weapon skill line that I have an idea for, which I wish they would introduce to the game, and I'll be doing a whole video series or a video on that that talk. So that'll be coming out next week. Next up, 4 different editions of Morrowind will be available at launch: Standard, the Upgrade, Digital Collector's Edition, and the Physical Collector's Edition. Get all the details at here, or you can go here to the fact. Now, if you click on this, this will take you to where you purchase it. This will take you to a page that explains it, and we'll be going there in a second. But if you pre-order, you get the Discovery Pack, which includes the Warden costume, the Dwarven War Dog, treasure maps for Vardenfell, Dwarven Crown Crate, just one, I guess, and it will have a chance of receiving a Dwarven-themed mount, pet, costumes, and more, and then an experience scrolls. It doesn't list how many scrolls, but just an idea. This is what the pack will include. So this is the costume, this is the dog, this is the treasure maps, the crate, and that. So let's go on to the FAQ real quick, and we'll go read through this real quick. So here's what the actual collector's edition, the physical collector's edition includes. It includes the Colossus, the cloth map of Morrowind or Vardenfell, Nehru's journal, which explains her journey through Tamriel and her story, along with showing you guys some concept art and stuff. It also comes with a tin that has the symbol of the tribunal on it and stuff, which I think is kind of cool, because that's the same symbol from the Elder Scrolls DLC Mournhold, and so it kind of really intrigues me that they put that on there. So here we go. Nehru's journal, fully covered, full large format art book chronicling the assassin's pursuit of a conspiracy across Tamriel. I think it's going to be really cool to get that and read it, but unfortunately I'm going to have to pass on this for now. The Dwarven Colossus statue, which is a 12-inch tall replica of the Colossus you saw in the announcement trailer and will encounter in the new trial, the Halls of Fabrication. A full cloth map of Morrowind, as I said, and a special metallic case. The Digital Collector's Edition comes with an exclusive gray-colored warbear, so your warbear won't be brown, it'll be gray. An armored warhorse mount fashioned with dwarven plate. A new dwarven spider pet that actually is the normal spider pet like you get in the game, except it has the blue energized thing on it from like when they get that dome over them. It's that. And then a Morag Tom armor converter, so you can customize your gear with distinct style of the Morag Tom. Now this is kind of cool because I think that this is going to be like they did with the Imperial armor. You know, you could get, like, if you own the Imperial edition, when it launched, the Collector's Edition, you would get the Imperial armor look for your character and stuff. I think it's kind of the same thing. You're going to get this thing where you can use mimic stones to convert your, but it's going to give you the craftable style as well. I'm guessing, and it's probably going to be for one character, maybe your whole account. Don't know. A bundle of character emotes that will aid you in celebrating victories against your opponents. The one thing I hope that's not there is a a teabagging one. I mean, I got that enough in Halo, Call of Duty, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to, and even Division, I don't want to hear. I already get it here too as well. People come up and teabagging and stuff. It's really annoying. Next up is the Digital Collector's Edition upgrade. So you get all the things here with the Digital Collector's Edition, but you get more. And it says you can still obtain the game items described above in addition to the Discovery Pack and Morrowind itself by choosing this upgrade. So if you get the Digital Collector's Edition, you're going to get all this stuff as well. The Standard Edition, now this is where it gets me kind of confused, because it says pre-ordering this edition will net you the Discovery Pack plus full Elder Scrolls Online base game. Now, does this mean, like I was saying earlier, does this mean that we get the whole thing, including all the DLCs? Because that would be a better deal than getting the upgraded version if you're a subscriber, because then you get all ownership of all the DLCs, plus you get Morrowind. So you get the base game, which you already own, so you wouldn't get that, but you would get all the DLCs, and if that's the case, that would be amazing, but we don't know yet. Gotta wait until they tell us that information. Morrowind upgrade. Now this just gives you Morrowind. Now this one is $39.99. I know it's kind of pricey to all those subscribers out there that are... I don't mean to sound rude, guys, but you're losing your cookies over something very minuscule. Because this isn't a DLC. This is a new chapter in the game. This is a whole new storyline of stuff. I know Orsinium and Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood were DLCs. But you can't count the DLCs from the... You can count Orsinium as more of an expansion than it was a DLC, because it was a larger amount of content, but it cost the same amount as the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood. And their maps were super small. The content in them wasn't even worth, like, the weight or the price. No offense, but it wasn't. I mean, I bought every DLC, so I know it's just not worth it. And the DLC of Orsinium was way worth it. In fact, it was more than worth it. In fact, I even stated to a lot of people that thing should have been $39.99 because of how much content it gave you. I mean, that's a whole new zone with a bunch of stuff. Now, I will say this. The Vardenfell map, from what I've gathered from what the devs have said, what's kind of been leaked already, is going to be pretty big. When we're talking about a whole entire island continent versus a section of the world. Now this is like 3 times. This is like 3/4 the size of Cyrodiil. If you took Orsinium and put it in Cyrodiil, it wouldn't even take up a quarter of it. This is like 3/4 of Cyrodiil in size. So we're getting a huge area of map. And I can understand everyone's complaint. I really can. Trust me. If I was paying a subscription, I would do like I did with every release of every expansion for not only that, but EverQuest and everything else. That, Jesus, I gotta buy this stuff now? You know, I've been paying a subscription. And you gotta understand, I've spent thousands of dollars on these games. I mean, Elder Scrolls or EverQuest 1, I've spent over $1,000 on. Well over $1,000 on. I paid a subscription for 4 years, left the game, came back, paid a subscription for 6 months at a time, basically to do the content, and then once I completed the content, I'd only pay when I needed to do the content when they came out with new stuff. Now, I have not purchased the last 2 expansions for for EverQuest 1 because I don't play it anymore. But I have purchased every expansion for EverQuest 2, every expansion for World of Warcraft, and every expansion for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Even though it's included in a subscription, I purchased them individually because I've been playing that game since it went free to play. So I've purchased all the expansions for that. And I paid for a subscription for half a year. So I've spent a lot of money. And then Vanguard, even Vanguard, I paid a subscription for. Star Wars... Galaxies I paid a subscription for, and on top of that the expansions. So every game does this, and regardless of well, they said all DLCs. Yeah, all DLCs. They said this is a new chapter, not a DLC. If they said this is the DLC, I doubt we'd be getting a new class 3 PvP maps. I don't think those things would be included. I think those would be separate. Now, I will say this. Yes, it sucks that you can't buy it with your crown coins, but it is not a DLC as well. So you cannot buy it with the crown coins. You have to buy it with cash. But I do understand your guys' complaints I do see the problem with it. You know, it does kind of like deter from what they said, but they can change their terms of service whenever they want, and they have done that several times. If you haven't noticed, whenever you log in, sometimes it makes you redo the terms of service, and that's because they've updated the terms of service to state something else. And they do this all the time, and game companies do have that right to do that. It's as long as they change the terms of service prior to doing it, they can do whatever they want. And there's nothing that any one of us can do or say about it. You can't even get a lawsuit against them over it. Sorry. But, so on my opinion, I think that this is a great addition. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be super exciting to get my hands on it. And when I do, trust me, I will be bringing lots of videos to you guys. I'll be showing you guys how the Warden class works. I'll be talking about all its skill lines, all of its, you know, how it works well with different combinations of gear and weapon types, depending on what kind of role you're playing. I will go through all that stuff when it comes out. But unfortunately, that is it for now, guys. I'm going to go read this Welcome to 2017 letter and leave you guys to do the same. If you guys want, check in the description below. There is a link to both these announcements. So this fact and also the other thing, if you guys want to read it through it yourselves, even though I just read you pretty much everything, but you guys can read through it yourselves, give your own opinions. You guys can go look at the prices. There is this information down here. What is the Discovery Pack? It goes in explaining, like, why don't we get this with the ESO Plus membership. It goes into, will Elder Scrolls Morrowind be purchasable in the Crown Store and why it's not. How much will it be? They tell you, and all this other stuff. There's a lot of cool things, in my opinion, that this is that's coming with this that we don't know about yet. But once we get that information, I am super excited, no matter what. Now, I'm not fanboying over this. I'm not like, oh my god, you know, I'm not doing that. I'm excited because this is bringing back something from my childhood, or not childhood, from my early adulthood. That was something that was really big in my life because at the time my wife was pregnant with our first kid, and you know, this is what we did. We sat and we played Morrowind while she was laying in bed because she was, you know, she couldn't get up and move around a lot while she was pregnant, and so this is what we did. We sat and I played this, and she would sit there and co-pilot, and this was our thing, and I mean, our daughter came during our playtime. You know, it was like, you know, we had to rush to the hospital, but I mean, we were playing this game at the time, so it's something that's important to us, and bringing back those memories and stuff is really exciting. So, but that's it for now, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, you can hit that like button right down over here. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can hit that subscribe button as well. Either way, I'd be happy. But until next time, have a wonderful day, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.